Hi everyone, so I decided to make this video just to give you like a rough idea on how you can tint resins like polyester resin, epoxy resin, polyurethane resins and such. So I decided to make this video because it's very difficult to share like how the colors look like in pictures. So I'll just go through the PearlEx pigment powders. It's like more of a metallic powder. It's new on the website of Easy Composites and just decided to get all the colors. I'm just missing two colors, I think. It's black and white, but I'll get them in a later order and share a quick video about that as well. So I'll take you through the PearlEx. Then you have like full coloring pastes for epoxy, polyurethane and epoxy as well. And then I'll take you through the translucent pigments, just to make like translucent parts, and end this video with something new. So it's recently added on the website of Easy Composites. It's the Neon Pigments, so it's something very cool, and I'll show you in the video why it's so cool, but that's more at the end of the video. So I'll start with these. So these are some samples that I made. So I've made too much epoxy, and then I just decided to make the samples, and I just poured them in these cups just to make the samples. So it's a polypropylene cup, and it releases very easily. So they were made like this. So I'll take you through the colors. There's not much to say about. Maybe something important is that the bottom sides will always have like I would not say a dull finish, but all the pigments are just static, like not moving, so a bit more boring. So keep that in mind if you're pouring a part, that you won't get like the swirls and the like the movements you have on top. So here's a quick like extra note that you need to keep in mind of, is that this was the top of the pour, so this was the bottom. So like you can see, the gold is like sinking through the downside of the molds. And then you get this cool effect on top, but that's something you need to keep in mind, that will change. Like this is the same, so I did with all the leftovers, I just did a pour into one cup. So this is pretty cool, so it's like the universe or something special. But then on the bottom you get like the more boring part. So that's something to keep in mind if you're doing river tables and such. Just keep in mind that you will get this finish on the bottom. So you will always need to try to get this on the top of your pour. So something else to keep in mind is that you don't need a lot to create like an effect you get here. So what I do is, like, it's very hard to measure out because it's so light, but I take a popsicle stick and just take one pinch and put it into the cup and start mixing. If you want more, you can still add more, but it's better to use less at first and then just add a bit more of the pigments. So here's another way to tint your resins. So this is a paste. So Easy Composites sells them in different like options. So you get epoxy, polyester and polyurethane. And this is a very thick and high dense paste in color. So it's not to make translucent resin castings, but more like full color. So like here. If you're looking for more translucent options, then you're better with the, like obviously the translucent pigments from Easy Composites. So here we have the cup. I'll just show you how it looks like, but keep in mind that if you're trying to do epoxy, you'll need epoxy being written here. Because as far as my knowledge is good, there's just a small amount of epoxy mixed with the powder just to create like a paste. So if you're using this in polyester resin, like I did some tests and it works, but not always. So keep that in mind. They're more expensive, but you get a long time to work with these. So you just need a little bit to color your resins and such. Like mostly I use this to do the backing of my polyester molds and give them a color. So you can do this with the Unimolds system and just mix it well, and it will get like a full dense color like you see here with black. So this was an epoxy pour with black pigment added. So if we continue down the row, we get to the translucent pigments. So these are small little bottles. You get this in a 6-pack or 10-pack, I think. And you just need to add a few drops just to give your pour like a nice color. So here are some examples. And I do all my pourings in silicone molds for an easy release, so no release is needed. And I just mostly pour like leftovers after resin infusions, just to get like a skull instead of a cup filled with resin. So what does it look like when you open the box? So you have 10 colors right here. So we get the blue, turquoise. I think this is my favorite, so this is Prussian blue. I really like that one. And these are pigments you could use for casting river tables where you need like to achieve a translucent visualization of the river. Otherwise you can also do the river tables with these, but this won't be translucent. And here you get a translucent finish, so like a water-like effect. Then we have black, yellow. You can find all the colors on Easy Composites website. So something to keep in mind is that the more you will add, the less translucent or like the more vivid the colors will be. So these are two different types of blue. Then you get red. And this is just like to explain a difference in the surface finish of your molds. The higher the gloss, the clearer the part will be. So this is just regular infusion resin, epoxy resin, to achieve like these effects. So now we're getting to the last section of this video. So I have to say I was stunned by the results that these pigments were giving to the parts. So all of these pigments I've been using for years, and this was something new, and I have to say it's very cool. So you get like these plexi looking parts. So these are YouTube buttons. If you want to see how the mold was made, you can see it in another video. I'll add the link somewhere right here. But that way you can get like super cool neon colored effects. Just one thing to keep in mind is that this is not glow in the dark, and it's just giving light when it's under a neon light. So mostly known like a black light. So it's something you have in clubs, giving that white. If you're wearing a white t-shirt, it all gets blue. So that's how you can achieve that effect. So here's what it looks like. So when you're buying a box, I think they only have 6 colors at the moment, but these are like the most common colors I could think of. So now that I see it here, it's very important just to mix everything before using the drops to add to the resin, because you can see here there's some liquids on top, and you should like mix it, and then you can add the drops. So we have orange, blue, pink, yellow is very cool. This one is one of my favorites as well, giving a really cool color. Then we still have pink and green. So these are like the most common colors you get into your fluor markers as well. Just to give you an idea of the results, this is the yellow with a like more dull finish of the molds, and then we get like this is very cool, the green. This is what I want to mention, like the cool thing about these is that when you're looking at it from a straight angle, just like a colored piece, like green, but when you tilt it, you can see like the effects like you get on plexiglass when it's laser engraved. So I see a lot of options with these fluor pigments. Like in other cases, the more you use, the more vivid the colors will be and less translucent. So this is like a lot of drops into this one, and then you get like the translucent samples I have here. Okay, so we're in the dark now, and here you can see this is a neon light, so also called a black light, and I'll show you the effects that you get with these neon pigments. So it's hard to film, super cool effects. So here we have all the colors. So we have the orange one, green, red, pink, yellow and blue. This is super cool effect. So I see a lot of potential in future projects and tutorials using these. Let me know what color you prefer of these in the comments below. Quite curious. I'm leaning more for the orange, red and yellow.